just speaking. You'll have your 3 minutes. Yeah.
I send an email.
I don't. But people want, and with them, why can't we go right through the process?
You're just going to hit that. Explain. Test, test, 1, 2.
Because I haven't even.
That's right. Yeah, are you talking about the citizens advisory committee? Yeah. Yes, the one that changed. I haven't got the official letter other than the line that says, okay.
So he did get promoted. He got a promotion. Because he was the assistant. Two deputies and assistant. So he got a promotion. Yeah, Jason's tags. He got hired as the assistant. Yeah.
Slogan system is
I was gonna sit down. I was gonna sit down too. And he takes me. Because they can leave. Oh, I think it's not. He said, "Just do it."
but I'm going to be representing the board and
20 pages is a long fucking time. I'm also one Sunday gym. He's like, I don't know about that. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's all. We're still the same two people. I see you drink or something these days. You got my number. You punched me. We care if you did. There, how you doing, sir? Doing well.
Yeah. But I
Okay, this special council meeting is now reopened, and it is now terminated. Thank you.
Yeah, I get you though.
Terminated. Is that improper?
All right, well, wait a minute. Where's your thing?
I'm thinking about it, trust me, especially after yesterday. I need to order the video earlier. The state attorney. I said, I heard the state talking to Brad.
I don't know.
Okay, 2 minutes.
You adjourned the other meeting already?
Yes. Yes, she. What happened to that jazz music?
I'll say hi to the little one.
If you feel brave, if you're Marine, go for it.
So he goes, so who do you know here? And I was like, oh, you start speaking to him in Haitian grill. He said, oh, okay, you're okay.
For real? Oh, he's good.
He's okay.
Dude on that, man. You certified zone.
Yeah.
It is now 1800 hours. I'm going to call this regular council meeting 2026-02 to order. The invocation will be led by Pastor Ken Delgado of the House Church, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilman Kenny Johnson. Please rise.
May I say Happy New Year and Merry Christmas, since I didn't have an opportunity. I'm going to do something that most people would think impossible in my invocation. I am going to tie in the 250-year celebration of the United States along with the Declaration of Independence and hook it up to the birth of Jesus Christ. Go figure. Are you ready? Amen. First, I'm going to read two documents. 1901, the Supreme Court wrote in the Cottingham versus Goddard 183, VS or US 79, he wrote, "The first official action of this nation declared the foundation of government in these words. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. While such declarations of principles may not have the force of organic law or be made the basis of judicial decision as to the limits of rights and duty, and while in all cases reference must be had in the organic law of the nation for such limits, yet the latter is but the body, and the letter, of which the former is the thought and spirit. And it is always safe to read the letter of the Constitution in the spirit of the Declaration of Independence. And in July 4th, 1837, the signer of the Declaration of Independence and sixth President of the United States, John Quincy Adams, said, "Why is it that that next to the birthday of the Savior of the world, your joyous and most venerated festival returns on this day, Independence Day? Is it not that in the chain of human events, the birthday of this nation is indissolubly linked with the birthday of our Savior? That it forms a leading event in the progress of the gospel dispensation." So, Father, as we come to you today in these chambers, I thank you for the people that you've placed in office. We pray for them. We thank you for the birth of this nation that we are celebrating 250 years based on the reality that it began on the basis of worshiping God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And in the formation of this great nation, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness was the very foundation of purpose, the spirit of the Constitution. We just ask that your blessing be on this nation. We ask that your blessing be on these proceedings, that we be reminded that all of this needs to be under the guise, under the supervision of a servant attitude and in the fear of God. We ask for your blessing, redeem the time, give them wisdom, bless their families, bless this city, and bless this nation in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please turn and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hoorah! Madam Jones, roll call.
Mayor Medina,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Jaffe,
Present.
Councilman Johnson,
Present.
Councilman Hammer,
Present.
Councilman Langevin.
Present.
Mr. Morton.
Present.
Ms. Smith. Here.
Deputy Mayor, announcement.
We have one vacancy on the Community Development Advisory Board representing one of the following fields relating to affordable housing, for-profit provider, residential home building, and actively engaged in home building positions. Anyone wishing to serve on these boards can apply online at palmbayflorida.org or contact the city clerk's office at 952-3414.
Thank you. We're now on agenda revisions. Mr. Morton, any agenda revisions?
Yes. Requesting that Resolution 2026-01, amending the city's investment policy, be pulled. We'll reschedule it at a later date.
I'm looking for that item. Where is it?
That would be
It's under consent.
consent item number 3.
Okay. Thank you. Madam Smith, any agenda revisions?
No, sir.
Council, any agenda revisions? No, sir. Seeing none, we're now on proclamations and recognitions. So at this time, I'm going to call up Kim Curry of A New International and bring up your team as well, since they're all here, as we recognize Human Trafficking Awareness Month. It is hereby proclaimed by the mayor of the greatest city on the face of the earth we call Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, that whereas human trafficking is the illegal trade in human beings, a public health and humanitarian issue, a form of modern day slavery, and a crime against humanity that violates the most basic human rights and deprives victims of their freedom. Whereas human trafficking is the recruitment, harboring, transporting, providing, or obtaining a person for the purpose of commercial sex acts, labor, or services induced by fraud, force, coercion, or in which the person induced to perform such acts has not attained 18 years of age. Whereas it is estimated that although grossly underreported, 40 to 50 million people are being trafficked worldwide, with children accounting for half of those victims. More than 44 U.S. teenage boys have committed suicide as a direct result of online exploitation and sextortion since 2021. And the United States, being one of the world's largest destination and markets for commercial sexual exploitation and sex trafficking worldwide, and one of the top 3 nations of original globally for victims of human trafficking. Whereas Florida ranks, get this, 3rd in the United States for human trafficking cases reported to the Human Trafficking Resource Center, with the Central region having the highest number of cases reported to Florida Department of Children and Families. As human traffickers regard Florida as one of the most attractive destinations and transit points for their victims. Kim, I think you should touch a little bit on why that is. Whereas human trafficking has increased exponentially as the fastest growing and second largest international crime enterprise next to illegal drugs and arms trades, generating over $236 billion, specifically involving child sexual abuse material, pornography, and online exploitation, and often involves family members or those personally known to the victim. Whereas human trafficking exists because of the ever-growing number of buyers. Without them, there would be no demand. And by reducing this demand through education, stricter enforcement laws, and shifting societal norms, we can effectively disrupt the cycle of exploitation and protect countless of lives. Whereas a new international, Life International is a local faith-based, not-for-profit organization serving as a trusted partner to raise awareness, reduce vulnerability, and provide resources and services to victims, survivors, and our community. Now, therefore, I, Rob Medina, Mayor of the City of Palm Bay, by virtue of the authority of said office, do hereby proclaim Human Trafficking Awareness Month, January 2026, and National Human Trafficking Awareness Day, January 11th, 2026, in the City of Palm Bay, and urge all our citizens to protect the vulnerable and end human trafficking through continued prevention, prosecution, education, and awareness, and to send a strong message to perpetrators that Florida is zero-tolerance state for all forms of human trafficking, and that we are committed to protecting victims, their rights, and restoring their dignity and freedom. In witness hereof, I set my hand and call the seal of the City of Palm Bay to be affixed the safe day of January 2026. Kim Curry, come on up. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. Size short. That's funny. He had to lower the stand. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council, City Manager, and Palm Bay citizens, board members, volunteers, partners in crime, partners in stopping crime. So we had a wonderful event thanks to the City of Palm Bay earlier today. We had a red sand event where we poured sand into the cracks of the sidewalks. And what that represented, and it was red sand, what that represented was that we are not going to let anyone fall through the cracks as long as it's up to us. I am proud to be the chair and part of the Space Coast Human Trafficking Task Force, which some of those that are standing behind me are a part of as well. And we're serving you. We're serving your children. We're serving the citizens of Palm Bay and all of Brevard County. And I want to thank Palm Bay, the city, and the police department, because you guys are leading the charge and partnering with us in a way that I am absolutely so grateful for. Many of you, when you hear human trafficking, you might flash to the movies of people being abducted and people being chained to bedposts and maybe held captive in basements. Maybe they're gagged and duct taped and hauled off to Honduras. That happens. It really does happen. However, that's only 3 to 5% of what happens. Really what's going on, the real fight of human trafficking is happening online. It's happening with your gaming, with your kids on games. I'm going to call out Roblox. I can call out a whole bunch of them. But parents, you need to know that it's happening in the gaming. It's happening on their cell phones. It's happening on Facebook. I work with a mom that got her son back. He was missing for 8 years. He was groomed through Facebook. At 18, they came and took him because they had developed a relationship with him. He thought it was a friend. That friend took him to Wisconsin, and he was gone missing. He was missing for 8 years. After 8 years, just recently, mom got a message on Facebook that it was her son. And she's been getting all these messages saying that I'm your son, I'm your son. They were fake, so she was devastated once again, but decided this time to double check and see if it truly was her son, and it was. They cashed in their 401k. Dad went to Wisconsin, picked him up. He's home. He's getting help. It's 8 years of that trauma to that family, not knowing where their son was. That's happening all the time. And what the mayor read about the 44, I sat in a theater with parents all in front of me, hundreds of parents in front of me who had lost their children through online exploitation. It's true, it's happening. I don't want to be like all heavy Debbie Downer, but guys, this is serious, and we have to be more proactive. When you see folks out in maybe at the Wawa, maybe in a restaurant, maybe wherever, and you get that gut check or it just doesn't look right, you're in a situation where, what is this? Please call law enforcement. If you hurt their feelings because you maybe falsely accused them, okay. They're going to check it out, and maybe you save a life. Melbourne, Palm Bay, Brevard County, as the mayor also touched on, our ports, our Disney and Orlando, just all of this, we're known to traffickers as the sleepy county because we're not paying attention or not enough. So please join me. Please join me at home and love on your kids enough to know what the heck they're doing online. Get involved with us. Most of these folks up here work with me, and we can answer your questions. And I would love to partner with you guys, and just even if I never meet you one-on-one, to know that you heard what you heard tonight, and you went home and did the due diligence in your home. Because what you're looking at, pornography, most of pornography is trafficking. It's forced, they've used fraud, and there's coercion. And any child is a victim if they're under 18. So please join us. Please do due diligence. Please pray for the laws. I'm in DC a lot advocating for our online gaming and platforms to be safer. Just please pray for all the things, because it's real. Way too many victims. And I thank you for standing with us and fighting this horrible crime against our kids, crime against humanity. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're next to the tall one, I'm next to the jacked one.
It's fat. It's fat, not jacked.
Bro, something's wrong with you.
Thank you very much.
Pastor, good to see you, sir. Happy New Year. First Lady, how are you?
Bob, great to see you, sir.
Good to see you. Happy New Year to you.
Okay, we're now on public comments. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Our first public speaker, Doug Hook.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Normally, I'm up here talking about the Palm Bay Sustainability Advisory Board, and while we are looking forward to a really great 2026 and would like the community and everybody else to join in and participate with us, tonight I'd actually like to talk on a more personal level. It's the start of 2026, so it's kind of a time to do some reflection, to think about how we're going to move forward in the future, and I wanted to do that as a bit of a change of a pace. So I have been reading A Land Remembered, which is a book, it's a historical fiction book based here in Florida. It's actually considered one of the most quintessential Florida books, and it actually received numerous accolades along the way. And in this book, I was actually reading it a couple of nights back, and I found a passage that I just felt compelled to share with everybody, honestly. So to set it up a little bit, the book is actually about the story of 3 generations of one family of Floridians who moved into Florida right after it became a state, or actually before it became a state. And it takes place between the time frame of 1858 and 1968. It was written in the 80s, so it's a little bit old on its own, but it also takes place in history. The character in question is Zachariah. He is about 18 years old, and his family was given a horse and a couple of dogs. Their names are Nip and Tuck, from some Seminole Indians that they helped along the way, which was unique for that time. Zach had just finished his watch while driving wild cattle across Florida, which was how his family made a living at the time. It was around midnight. He approached a stand of trees with a pond, and he kind of hid behind some saw palm meadows and was just watching the pond as it happened. And so that's where the passage picks up. And I wanted to read it and just change of pace and a thought process for everybody. The first forms that visited the stand were deer, and they were soon replaced by the smaller, vague bodies of foxes, rabbits, and raccoons. He laid there in the dry grass and watched as a procession came in groups of their own kind. Wolves, bears, a mother panther with a litter of cubs, all passing each other without comment, drinking and disappearing into the night. There were no growls of anger, no warnings to move away, no snarling flashes of superiority. Deadly enemies, seemingly under a truce of understanding only from themselves, sharing equally a thing they all must have to survive. Zach watched spellbound, wondering what would happen if Nip and Tuck were with him, if they too would understand this honor of truce, retreat from natural instincts and patiently wait their turn, or if they would charge forward and engage in combat to run the others away without sharing. He was glad they weren't present with him at this moment, for he didn't want the scene challenged. He knew it was possible. He would never witness it again. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Bill Batten.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street, Southwest. First, I'd like to wish everybody a happy new year. May it be a healthy and happy one for 2026. Thank you. Second item, I've made some bad decisions in my life, and happened to be speeding tickets and a couple of other things where law enforcement got involved. Those decisions that I made were on me. I'm not blaming law enforcement for doing their job. Law enforcement has a job, and that's the thin blue line between us and anarchy. So I don't blame law enforcement for doing their job, even though it did mean I had to pay for a speeding ticket. That being said, tomorrow is National Law Enforcement Recognition Day. And so I won't be seeing people tomorrow. I want to recognize my police department and law enforcement tonight. So I appreciate what you do. Thank you very much. That being said, why is it that a person trying to do their job, and I'll speak of ICE agents trying to do their job, have to be hindered, made to feel less than by somebody who does not appreciate the fact that we have law enforcement at our beck and call day in and day out? No good can come from interference with your law enforcement. So that's it. Tomorrow is Appreciation Day for law enforcement. Hope you recognize your locals. Thank you.
Thank you.
Woody Woodrum.
Woody Woodrum, 1394 Amelia Avenue. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I've volunteered pretty much all of my life. Before I came to Florida and Maryland, I've held elected office 2 times as a mayor of Burgess and a commissioner. But I've always given back and paid forward. I volunteered here for 3 years on the Citizens Advisory for Planning and Zoning. Then I did 6 months with HR with facilities and hold the record as the only person ever fired by HR. I'm proud of it. Okay, I'm 77 years old this year, and I can't run. I can't move anymore. I'm done. So I'm going to fight, and that's what this is all about. 15 years ago, Palm Bay was classified as one of the safest cities in Florida with a population of approximately 100,000. We still carry that rating with the amount of residential housing coming online now. In the near future, the population will rise, and with it, all of the negative aspects of large cities: crime, infrastructure failures, shortfalls, overcrowding, streets, schools, hospitals, police, fire resources, sewer, water, rising property taxes, utilities, longer response time for police and fire and rescue. This city, in my opinion, is not prepared to meet this challenge. Right now, we have a weak mayor and a weak council that are duly elected, and all are part-time. All of the responsibilities for making the decisions and running the day-to-day operations of this city are done by an employee, the city manager, who receives a very large salary. When major failures occur, as in the past, all of the blame is placed on the desk of the city manager, and the city manager is usually fired because that position is an at-will position that the governing body can fire for any reason that they choose. This allows the mayor and council to shirk any responsibility for the failures and walk away with clean hands. Now, the point I'm going to make is it's time to make a charter change. Give the large salary to the mayor and make him full-time. Let the mayor oversee daily operations, meet and coordinate with all the department heads, put all the responsibility for the good and bad decisions in that seat. Someone we hired through the voting process, not someone at-will employee that is not accountable to the voting citizens. Oops.
Thank you.
Am I done?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Michael Brietti.
Michael Brietti, 742 Cornelia Avenue, Southeast. Good evening and a Happy New Year, Council. I'm here this evening as a concerned citizen and quite possibly one of the new council members in the next election. To demand that Officer Sean Rollins be terminated immediately for his well-documented past, to include newly discovered misconduct presently arising out of yet another additional state, Colorado. It's been my impression that Rollins has threatened civil action against Palm Bay if fired. Let me just cite one word: probationary, and remind the city officials that lying on an application for appointment, page 5, number 6, is in fact a fireable offense. Thus, I would rather entertain one frivolous lawsuit filed by Rollins rather than a dozen filed against the city for his unlawful conduct. I would like to further request the resignations of 1, Laura Clausen for Highland Rollins having known his troubled past. 2, Patricia Smith for failure as counsel for the city to properly advise. Her $300,000 plus salary could be used to retain an entire firm, which the city does already, to defend lawsuits that Smith is incapable of. 3, hold the chief, deputy chief, and command staff accountable for their failures to fire Rollins once his history was made public, and urge the city manager to conduct an outside search for our next chief. Lastly, in my hands, on that seat, is a 20-page email delivered to each and every member on that dais, which essentially takes away any sovereign or qualified immunity. May I suggest bringing Chief Augello to the podium to categorically answer each criminal, civil, and procedural violations outlined then. Give retired Deputy Chief Lance Fisher opportunity for a rebuttal. A show of hands in this audience and viewers at home would indicate the need. Thank you.
Next.
Terry Stollmiller.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Terry Stuhlmiller. I live at 1324 Turkey Creek Drive, in Palm Bay. That's located in Palm Bay Estates, which is a resident-owned community, 55 years of age and older. It's owned by a co-op. Now, I bought in a share into that co-op and a home in Palm Bay Estates 25 years ago. 18 of those years I served on the board of directors, which is a volunteer position for the co-op. We've had several instances over the years where we've had to deal with the city, and primarily it had to do with the waterway that runs down through the heart of our community. It's called the Deer Run Creek. The city has maintained, for as long as I can remember, the past 25 years, that it's a drainage ditch. It is not a drainage ditch. Many, many years ago, it was designated as Deer Run Creek. It flows into the Turkey Creek, which ultimately goes under US 1 into the Indian River. And we've had, the city has been using a drainage ditch that comes in from Florin Road, which is off our property, and runs into our creek. And they've been using that for runoff for as long as I can remember. And we've had issues with the pipe, and every time we've dealt with the city, they've said, it's your pipe, you fix it. Well, we have some, we've pretty much gone over the years with saying, you can't fight City Hall. And that's pretty much the attitude that we've received when dealing with the city. You fix it, we're not gonna help you. Well, ultimately, we have done some research, and these elderly people have said, we are gonna fight City Hall. It is not our pipe, and the city is the only one using it. We don't use it. You're using the drainage to dump everything into our creek and ultimately into the Turkey Creek. And we've recently had a collapse of that pipe. And then that caused part of our road to collapse. And now that has to be fixed. It's an endangerment to our community and our residents. And the city, we're dealing with them now, trying to get them to admit that yes, it is their pipe, they use it, we don't, and they should fix it. We've offered in the past to meet them halfway. If you insist it's our pipe, we'll meet you halfway. That's never happened. Anything that's ever happened, we've done it on our own, and we operate on a very low budget and to keep living affordable for the people in our community. We're at a situation now where we need some help, and we're hoping that the city will come through and admit that it's their problem, not our problem, and they will certainly come and fix it. We'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Morton, have you looked into this?
I've looked into this, and the first time I got a call, I was on site in Palm Bay Estates in less than an hour, and I toured the site with the former HOA president. We had worked out a tacit formal partnership agreement. I first offered that potentially the city would take the entire pipe because I do see some value, and that is a long-standing infrastructure asset. This was adjudicated in court and dismissed. This was a memo by council, I think about 15 years ago, that clearly stated they had helped at that point to replace it, said the city would never replace it again or give money. It is private infrastructure. I negotiated that agreement with Paul Pignolet, was going to bring it to council for ratification. I was informed at literally 0 hour that they changed their mind. They no longer wanted to do a cost-sharing agreement. We were going to pay for half of the pipe. I said, no problem. Let's see what round 2 solution could look like. We started working on potentially taking on an easement or helping in other ways to fix the pipe. In the meantime, we were asked for the loan of steel plates. As long as we had a hold harmless agreement, we'd provide them. The current HOA group signed that. Ms. Angela Garrison signed that HOA. We are trying to deliver. We had them on site. They didn't have the proper equipment to unload them, the steel plates. So at least for the last 4 months I've been here, we've done nothing but partnership and try to work this solution. At the end of the day, he's correct. It is private infrastructure. It's not owned by the city. We have a very thin line to walk between gifting of public funds and also figuring out what share and what the importance is long-term as an infrastructure asset to the city. And that's currently, as I spoke with Ms. Garrison, is that I have to figure out a way that this can occur with fair to the rest of the city. We don't just go fix problems in subdivisions for every HOA and every private ownership group. But again, with the baseline being that there is, I believe, some long-term value to preserve that a water course, currently stormwater discharge, as it's hooking up to the new Florin Pond with the new baffle box that's intended to be installed, that there was some joint responsibility. So I'm not sure, sir, where those comments are coming from. We've been at the table in partnership repeatedly. We had an agreement that we were ready to sign and you guys pulled the plug on. I'm continuing to work with Ms. Garrison to come up with a mutually agreeable agreement. And I just found out today I've been asked to go to Palm Bay Estates to speak to the HOA board, and I've agreed to do that. I know my office is trying to schedule that meeting as we speak. So I'm really confused where those comments are coming from.
Well, thank you for the report, sir. Thank you for taking that initiative. Thank you. Next speaker.
Clyde Harmon.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, City Manager. My name is Clyde Harmon. I live in Palm Bay Estates, 1360 Turkey Creek Drive, and I am a tax-paying citizen of Palm Bay. We've got 231 residents in the community, pushing maybe 500 people. They're all citizens, they're all of Palm Bay, they're all paying tax to the city of Palm Bay. I won't reiterate all that Terry said or what Angela's going to bring to the table. I just want the council to know that we have been trying for years to get support and help from the city on the Deer Run Canal and the drainage or stormwater runoff that's coming into it from Florin Pond, which has not been cleaned up. And the reason it's not cleaned up is we're classified as a drainage ditch. Although officially for years, it goes way back that Deer Run Creek and the canal is a waterway. It's not a drainage ditch. So with that, I don't have any more to say other than I appreciate any help that y'all can give us to get through this problem of a bursted pipe. It's a stormwater drainage pipe. Palm Bay Estates does not use that pipe. It comes directly from Florin Pond through and under our street, which is damaged now, and into our canal, which that means that the water, which hasn't been cleaned up, has been going in the canal for years now. So that would be what I would want to bring to the attention of the council, mayor, city manager. It's time that we start cleaning it up. We're supposed to be taking care of the Indian River Lagoon. We haven't been doing that. So it's time that we start straightening up our mess from the past and get clean water going into the Turkey Creek and the Indian River Lagoon. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Angela Garrison.
My name is Angela Garrison, Palm Bay Estates. Good evening, Mayor, Councilman, and staff. Our community, Palm Bay Estates and Deer Run Creek, is a historical documented waterway that flows directly into Turkey Creek dating back to the 1800s. We are located on Plat Book 1, page 62. Originally, Ice Indians and settlers resided here on the Shell Mound shoreline, a fish camp, then a tropical trailer town evolving into a now thriving 55 and over community. Our alarm was heightened by the letter in which the previous manager and staff referred to our waterway as nothing more than a drainage ditch. Imagine our response. Can I pause my time, please?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Carry on.
Thank you, sir.
And you've got 5 additional seconds.
Thank you, sir. Our alarm was heightened in the letter in which the previous manager and staff referred to our waterway as nothing more than a drainage ditch. Imagine our surprise after already enduring unmitigated toxic discharge, outdated lift stations combined with various raw sewage overflows, habitat devastation, and non-existent accountability to Pridelines expansion, only to realize that you had doomed us to an unforeseeable toxic drainage ditch in purgatory. All while the county has quietly increased our property use code and taxes from a mobile home park to an improved co-op manufactured waterfront homes on a new flood zone at that. After much excruciating research and help from the the DEP, Governor's Office, and the Army Corps of Engineers and the IRL, we want to formally advise you that we are not a drainage ditch. We are simply never were. This false misclassification has created a great deal of unfair hardship to our community, and it's not appreciated. The DEP, county, and IRL explained to us that the city held all the power to change our future and dredging inclusion by correcting this unfortunate misclassification, while we held none. During the recent holiday season, we requested the city ease and cease the unmanageable amount of runoff drainage, redirect the water flows back underneath the intended railroad out to Fordham Road catch basin. The city could not attenuate the flow. As we watched our main road once again wash away, causing us a great deal of PTSD and fear, potentially severing our residents once again from much-needed medical services and contemplating unimaginable assessments. We quickly threw together makeshift barricades, bridges to avoid another catastrophic event, as our hemorrhaging increased without relief. We also watched the new monstrosity of buildings, Port Malabar, turn on their lights, advertise new riverfront views, while their primer, paint, and debris floated past our eroding seawalls, dead fish and wildlife washed up onto our permitted docks. These stark differences and negative, unmitigated impacts to our community are no coincidence. Our quality of life has been increasingly and negatively affected, our once healthy habitat destroyed, and our once fully navigable waterway continues to evaporate. Gratefully, Mr. Morton heard our cries. He immediately offered his assistance, and he began creating a plan to help us address these issues. We look forward to working with him and this council on an overdue reclassification, expedient restoration, inclusion of all current future waterway considerations, federal, state, local financial assistance, and Mr. Hammer's new One Turkey Creek. We call on each of you to support our efforts, expedite the manager's request, and over the coming year, work towards a more equitable, enjoyable future for all of us, new and old. Thank you.
Candace Combs. Candace Combs.
Yes, she is. Mr. Beach?
Dr. Robinson.
Can you help her?
Dr. Guthrie.
Okay, as you were, as you were. Carry on, ma'am. Thank you.
I'm talking to this. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Candace Combs. I live on Turkey Creek Drive Northeast. I'm going to read this because it's very intimidating coming up here and seeing a huge amount of important people in front of me. So bear with me.
Ma'am, we're just people. You take your time, take your liberty.
This past Christmas, while I visited my family in a tiny small town in upstate New York, I discovered their county had an Office of the Aging that you can go visit. They assist seniors in finding resources that they might need. Many elderly like myself lack the skills to surf the net, wade through web page link after link, or spend hours in phone trees trying to find a human to help. The census said that 20% of Palm Bay residents are seniors. That's about 29,000 people, many of whom their families live outside the state. My question is, does the city of Palm Bay have a similar office or contact person that can provide assistance or direction face-to-face for those of us with handicaps, aging issues, or the inability to navigate an increasingly difficult and complicated world? In my situation in a wheelchair, I cannot enter my residential co-op clubhouse, even though I'm a shareholder. The entrances are not handicap-friendly, and I have been forced to wait for help up a steep incline and over the high door threshold. It has been humiliating to sit outside like a second-class citizen hoping someone comes by. It is also dangerous for me as I almost tipped on the side of the incline the one time I tried to get in by myself. A little history. I informed the association in September that I would need handicapped access to the building and the office. But it wasn't until their November meeting that I was told the board was busy with other things. I followed up at the December meeting. I've spoken with individual board members and sent follow-up emails in December and January, but have not received a reply. To date, I'm still relying on others for access and can't get in when there are other people to help, when there are not other people to help. Another issue is the huge sinkhole, which they mentioned before. Our boards voted and signed a contract in October to make those repairs with monies in the reserve fund. There were steel plates over the holes awaiting the contractor in October for safety reasons. Then, with a change in board members, a special meeting was held and they rescinded that contract in hopes that the city of Palm Bay would pay for some or all of the repairs. Can I finish real quick?
Go ahead.
The two sinkholes have been there since June and are an ongoing safety issue as the steel plates were removed and the holes are open again. How do I, a handicapped senior citizen, get help resolving this and other problems in my community without hiring an attorney to file a lawsuit against this association?
Thank you.
Is there some place that we can come, a number someplace that we can contact?
Thank you, ma'am. We've got, carry on. Okay. Thank you, sir.
And yeah.
We,
Can answer.
carry on.
May I?
Carry
Ms.
on,
Combs,
Mr.
I'll
Moore.
reach out to you personally, and I didn't get to say it, I wasn't thinking about it at my first opportunity to comment, but, and Ms. Garrison, for your advocation too. I think we found a solution late today for the steel plates that we'll be able to drop them. That gets us a little further down there, that gives us the time we talked about so we can work on what the ultimate solution is. So I'll reach out to you, Ms. Combs, and I think we have a solution for the plate, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
And Mayor, the only other thing, seniors helping seniors.
Yeah, I think we've got,
Okay.
we're gonna, I was
All right,
trying to
that'll
just get her, because us just telling her,
She might not
she,
follow.
she,
Yeah,
she needs to
gotcha.
have it written down, and so we're gonna follow up with that. Thank you.
Debbie
Next speaker.
Braccoloni.
Debbie Broccoloni, 1821 Agora Circle. Happy New Year before I start. Some community members are told to call or email. We don't know if you get them. We get silence back. Some are told, yes, we will help, and they get ghosted. Gentlemen, this is a problem. Sorry. While I'm happy you're trying to get roads done, no new building, you still have a problem. People are trying to get some things done, and while you seem to be all for it, it seems like it's out of sight, out of mind. Or maybe they will get tired and go away, or become someone else's problem. While some of you actually may want to help, some of you only want what is in your best interest. This is why people don't want to come up here. This is why people do not trust you. This is why people can't bring fresh ideas. While I understand you have a lot on your plate, you have people willing, including myself, to help you and get things done. But it feels like we're just being ignored. So this year I'm asking that you practice three things: accountability, responsibility, and transparency. If you say it, do it. If you do it, own it. If it doesn't work, we start over. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Jerry Hennett.
I think they left. Say it again.
I believe they left. He was part of the Palm Bay Estates.
Okay.
Mr. Hennett, Jerry Hennett.
Next speaker.
Thomas Strout.
Aloha, Mr. Mayor, Council. My name is Thomas Stroud. I live 140 Angelo Road. And I thank you guys for all your service. I know it's not easy. I've been in that seat before, back home in Hawaii. So here's some things that I've come to know. I know a lot of people don't have the understanding of the work that you guys go through and don't get all the information. I'm primarily here to talk about development and traffic solutions. I'm I know you guys were doing a study at San Filippo and in Malabar, the interchange there. I don't know what the results were, but that's okay. I have no numbers from population reports or traffic studies. Residents of Bayside Lakes and Southeast Palm Bay area have no options from I-95. And it's at least 2 to 5 miles to get back into their area, depending on what area they live there, from Malabar Road to their community. There is a 7-mile stretch between Malabar Road and St. John's Parkway exit. And I know it's probably already been looked at and already diagnosed and studied and everything like that. But by chance, it may have been missed. I was thinking possibly an exit like Valkyria, you know? That's about halfway point between Malabar and St. John's Road, and it'll also give the people a midpoint so that they don't have to travel in that backed up San Filippo Road or any of those other ones. And like I said, I'm sure it's already been thought about, but you know, if not, by chance, maybe I got lucky. I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. Stay safe and keep up the good work. Mahalo.
Thank you, Tom. Next speaker.
Kenneth Delgado.
Ken Delgado, 154 Angelo Road, Southeast. First of all, I want to say thank you, City of Palm Bay, for all that you helped make the Christmas extravaganza the biggest, the best Christmas party in all of Brevard County, if not all of Florida. Double-digit thousands of people that came that day, families ministered to. Your police department was wonderful. Your fire department was amazing. Your parks and recreation department were outstanding. And I just want to thank all of your effort to make that happen. I don't have a check for each department this time because we gave it beforehand through additional costs that were decided to do. So either way, we got that. I just want to say one last thing. This is real short. I won't take all the 3 minutes. First of all, to the city manager, Morton, it's incredible how you've only been here for, I don't know, a few months or something, and already you have been charged with doing a horrible job. How in the world can they come to that conclusion? I have no idea, but welcome to the club. Praise God. On the second thing, I'd like to say, you know, you look pretty strong to me on this side over here. I don't want to really get into a jiu-jitsu play with you all. Some of you look pretty strong over there, and we got the mayor here who probably could knock me flat. But I think you guys are doing an outstanding job. I was just reading here, Go Roads paving program has made significant progress, completing phases 1 and 2, and phase 3 is 50% complete. Wow, we are actually advancing on the road repavement, and I know we got 2.5 more to go, but I just want to say we're making headway. There's a time when we just need to say, what good things can we think about and what great things can we talk about, because we're all striving to have a better Palm Bay, because I know you guys don't want to live in a bad Palm Bay, and so you're doing everything in your power to make it a great city. Matter of fact, the greatest city on the face of this earth. Merry Christmas. God bless you. Happy New Year. I'm looking for 26 to be an amazing time. God bless you all.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Kristen Lanzana.
Good evening, Kristen Lanzana, Northwest Palm Bay. When I first started attending these meetings in February of last year, I came here asking for transparency regarding the flock surveillance systems operating here in Palm Bay. It's now January, nearly 1 year later, and in that time, I've spoken at 10 council meetings about this issue. I've submitted public records requests, I've followed up through proper channels, and yet I have not received a single direct response from council members or staff to the questions I've raised here publicly about flock. The only information I have been able to obtain has come in pieces, primarily through public records requests for payments, not through open discussion or transparency. Based on the records I have received, the city of Palm Bay has paid at least $240,091.62. That is nearly $250,000 toward the surveillance system. That's real money spent to continuously track the movements of residents, regardless of innocence or guilt, without warrants and without public consent. Over the past year, I've asked for basic information: how long the contract runs, how much it's costing taxpayers, what data is being collected, how it's retained, who has access to it, what audits have been done, what safeguards exist to prevent misuse or error. We know that's not happening. People are being abused by this system already. And for proper public discussion before the system auto-renews or expands. These are not extreme questions. They're reasonable expectations in a free society. Yet instead of answers, I've experienced silence, and a process where residents have to piece together information on their own after discussions or decisions are underway. Transparency should not require persistence bordering on exhaustion. Based on the records I've received, I also want to clarify an important part regarding the funding. While the program was initially funded through the Law Enforcement Trust Fund for this first year, the approval language clearly states that the remaining years are funded through the city's general fund, in other words, taxpayers. That shift occurred during the 2023 year, so by the time I actually began raising questions here in 2024 and met with our Deputy Spears, the program was no longer funded through the asset forfeiture, as I was told, and it was actually being paid through the city's general operating funds. So my concern that residents are paying to be surveilled was correct. I'm still missing records for the last 2 years of service. It's unclear who's providing the financial authority beyond August 2025, when the contract supposedly ends, despite it extending with auto-renewal provisions. These are not minor details. This is about financial accountability and constitutional impact. Tonight, I'm asking again for 2 things. First, place the public discussion about flock and automatic license plate readers on the agenda. And second, provide clear written responses to the questions I've been raising for nearly a year. It's not about fear, it's about accountability, due process, and respecting the rights of the people who live in this city. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Mayor, if I just may speak out of order, to her point, Ms. Lanzana.
Say again.
Mayor, if I may, just for a moment. Ms. Lanzana has been coming here for 10 months, and she brings her children with her, and they've spoken at the meetings. And, the flock contract was signed in 2021. I imagine there was a lot of public discussion back at that time with council. And does council have the appetite to even bring this up for public discussion at this time?
I believe the flock cameras are a tool, and as you'll see some of the stats of the crime reduction for this year, which I'm hoping that'll come public, but I have no appetite. I know it's a tool. I know that in that tool, we've also had an opportunity to catch a murderer, and so I'm good with the flock status. I'm good. Their license plate readers is what they are. And actually, I believe they even reduce crime, and they solve crimes. And so this is something that I believe enhances the security of our nation and our city. So hold on, I've got some folks that want to weigh in now. Councilman Johnson.
I do think it would be beneficial to have all the data, Mayor. And whatever Ms. Lanzana is requesting, staff knows more, because we always hear what we hear up here, so we don't know what everything that's being discussed. So I lean on staff for that. But if Mr. Morton or staff will email us the data of what's been shown, because like with the school zones, I was hesitant about the school zones, and then we went forward. I was asking a lot of questions with that, and we followed up with a piggyback purchase, and then here we are a year or 2 later. And we, pull back from it. So everything's worth taking a look at, but, my thing is more so about the amount of money we're spending. How many more officers could we get with that? And would it be worth it? It may not be worth it. So just things to consider, but I'm going to lean on city managers.
And that's good that you mentioned the city manager, because I know that some of the questions were responded to. Correct. From Ms. Landana by Deputy Chief Spears, and they've been in communications. So where the lack of communication is, to substitute a law enforcement official in flock cameras, that just doesn't equate that way. These license plate readers can actually dictate, was the vehicle stolen, what has been reported. So there's a big difference with that. But I'm going to yield now to the city manager. as you requested.
I was just going to point out that, correct, as Ms. Lantana actually mentioned, if I listened to her comments correctly, she has received records, although she feels they're incomplete. If there's something additional that we can provide that is releasable, we'll get it. I know you've spoken with our deputy chief. I think per Mr. Councilman Johnson's request, what I'm going to do is forward you copies of every response to a public record request made, and it's going to be difficult. It'll be a synopsis, because I don't know how long ago the conversation occurred, but Deputy Chief, if you could just type up a summary of your recollection of the conversation, so I can forward that to council, and that will inform you of what you would like to do next. And again, if there's additional requests, please let me know. And I'm assuming some records weren't delivered because they might be non-disclosable at this point, but let's make sure we did fulfill everything. I know we've sent you lots of records, but we'll do that and follow up with you. Thank you.
Okay. Next speaker.
Pat Delpra.
Good evening, council and staff. Pat Doutper, 410 Georges Avenue Northeast. I just want to wish you a happy new year and pray that it will be a fruitful and prosperous new year for all the staff and city council and citizens of Palm Bay. I do want to say thank you and appreciate the new method that the city is using to determine the deterioration and the of the different roads throughout the city, rather than doing it from neighborhood to neighborhood. Going to determine which roads are the worst and work with them first, and then work our way back. So thank you for that. And probably a lot of people don't understand what you guys are doing, but anyway, that's a new way of determining whether to either pay for all the roads to be done or work on the worst ones. Also, I was wondering if we could also start working on the parking lots in the parks, especially Veterans Park down off of Port Malabar. That has really deteriorated for many years, so I was just wondering if we can get that done. I have talked to Greg before about doing those parking lots. The other question is, we don't have any control over the shopping centers' parking lots, do we? Is there any way of getting them to start working on their parking lots? And sidewalks, I know that that's not part of the infrastructure, but Fallon's got some, well, they've been putting in the different sections of the sidewalk. Be nice if the whole thing was done. Plus, we have, the sidewalk on Jupiter and San Filippo and several other places. So just wondering if we can start working on those as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Butcher End.
Excuse me, Butch Oran, 219 Trenton Avenue. First of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to Public Works. Their system that they have, once you figure out how to get a hold of who you're trying to get a hold of, it's very simple. If you got a hole that needs to be fixed in your road, go to potholes. They contact you, say, we'll be out. Trash pickup, if they miss it, you call them, they'll come out the next day and get it taken care of. So big pat on the back for all those folks over there. They take care of stuff as it comes about. The other thing is good luck to the Hurricanes tonight, but Ole Miss is going to take them, so sorry about that.
You Ole Miss?
Yes, sir. Okay, I have a question about the roads. How is the priority for the neighborhood roads that have reached failure going to be put into that list of roads to repair? I know main roads are going to be the main factor, but there's roads that's been 26 years waiting to get repaired, and they come out, they fill them with potholes, it's not a problem. But when you fill a pothole, now you've got a rise on the pavement. So it's rougher than it was before. So I'm just trying to figure out, I've tried to read everything I got. I think it's a great system, what they're doing. I'd just like to know how you're gonna prioritize the neighborhood roads to make sure that they get repaired with some of this money. Because we all paid for a bond, and we didn't get our roads fixed. So I'd just like to make sure that we get our internal roads taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eric Stein.
Miss, Mr. Morton, can you follow up with, or have Kevin follow up
I
with?
can answer now, or I
which-
can follow
Okay,
up.
carry
I mean,
on.
we'll definitely follow up as well, sir, but
Oh, okay.
part of what Ms. Pat Dalpra mentioned was that PCI index. So we're surveying
Yes.
every inch of every road in the city. And fortunately, it won't just be a pass or fail. It'll literally grade the roads in a quartile or percentile to quality of failure, how fast the failure is accelerating, other extenuating conditions. What we're going to do is bring that information back. I mean, if you were listening, I think you were here that night. It's been a while though.
Yeah.
But we talked about pavement condition, maximum allowable volume or MAV, and this
Right.
concept of velocity. Is it part of the network? Is it a tail? So once we have the data, which is ongoing literally at the moment, I know people have seen the car, and we've been speaking about it at some meetings and open houses we've been going to. We're going to bring that back and have a public discussion on what the data means and let the community and council, we're going to give recommendations, but ultimately the community and the council will interpret that and give us instructions on where to move with the remaining money that's left in the Go Roads program. So
Okay.
that piece is yet to be decided, but what we're going to try to do is make it a data-driven, very transparent, accessible process so everyone can see what we're seeing citywide, not just in a particular neighborhood, on a particular corridor, or a particular street. I will say at the end of the day, as we've said before, it's unfortunate. I don't want to give any false assumptions. To your point, there isn't going to be enough money to finish everything, so prioritizing it is going to make the most sense. And we think I think the best way to do that, staff's position, is going to be data-driven. What's the worst, and which ones, if we fix, will save us the most money in the long run, and then we'll do whatever we can with the rest.
And that will be done April, it'll be ending in April?
Carry on,
and
sir.
then the report- Oh,
We'll follow
okay.
up with you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll reach out to you, sir.
Eric Stein.
Hello, my name is Eric Stein. I live at 932 Plymouth Court Northeast. Good evening to the council and everybody else here. I wanted to find out what can be done about noise coming from motorcycles that are revving up, they're open exhaust, running down our streets at wee hours in the morning or late in the evening. It's not just motorcycles, it's also cars. And this is around my general area there in a Port Malabar, Babcock area. And if there's something that can be done to stop them from doing that, that would be wonderful, because it's very disturbing to a lot of us, our animals at home. So whatever can be done would be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. So I believe we've got noise ordinances that we could follow up on that with Mrs. Stein. Next speaker.
Parker Allen.
Good evening, Parker Allen, 198 Knight Street, Palm Bay. A couple of comments. Those AI cameras, they did a piece recently that can be hacked by anyone, but it's a little concerning, but I'm not here to talk about that, but it is concerning. It's also kind of weird that the special meeting at 5:30 wasn't televised online. But anyway, Father God, we're thankful for the fourth consecutive Republican president to launch us into an economic recession and a war for oil. We gracefully accept the $3 trillion cost to American taxpayers and the million lives lost in the Iraqi occupation, as it was worth it to see the smiling faces as we captured Saddam Hussein. I wonder how the Venezuelans will feel when we're still there in a decade. We praise your miracle of AI and the wonderful bubble about to crash our markets. We pray that the bailout be swift and bountiful to our billionaire prospectors. Thanks to the humans graciously going without power and water to allow for more AI data centers to be built. Each of those is 150,000 houses worth of power, and that's well worth it, while hundreds of lives are lost in Texas winters due to our failing power grid. We're similarly grateful that our tax dollars can provide free universal health care for every Israeli citizen while we do without. Thank you for demonstrating yesterday exactly how to treat masked gunmen approaching your car should they ever make the mistake of launching an assault in the gunshine state. We accept your divine wisdom to relieve the commandment, thou shalt not kill, from being imposed on federal agents, and accept that any murder they commit should not be questioned. We pray for your insight to show our hearts what to do in the face of injustice, to understand what resorts we have in the absence of a justice system. I pray our local leaders fight the perception that officers are above reproach, as this evil mindset leads to lawlessness. Please guide us and keep us safe from tyranny. Amen.
Mayor, that concludes the cards.
Next speaker? Oh, no, that concludes public comments? Okay, so we're now on the consent agenda. Deputy Mayor, you have comment cards?
Bill Batten.
For consent, on the consent?
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street, Southwest. First, I appreciate the fact that we brought this ability to address consent agenda items back. I greatly appreciate that. That's what I expect from my local government. But I'm addressing consent agenda item number 4, consideration of accepting a grant award authorizing the agreement with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection for Turkey Creek Sanctuary Water Quality Improvement Project. What this is, it's $1.8 million project. And so I had 2 questions with that expenditure. One, why were they changing the name of what the project was for? And number 2, if we're going to invest $1.8 million, how can I see the results, something that's going to say for quantifying what we've spent the money on to show that we're actually gaining something out of that expenditure? How can I go about doing that? That's the 2 questions. Hopefully I'd get an answer. And again, thank you for bringing back the ability to address consent agenda items. Thank you.
Next speaker?
That concludes the cards, Mayor.
Okay. So, Mr. Morton, Turkey Creek, would you like to address that?
We can follow up with Mr. Batten. I don't have anything
Okay.
other than what's in the agenda bill. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, council, what's your pleasure?
Well, Mayor, I want to pull item number 4 that Mr. Batten was just talking about.
Okay, item number 4. Anyone else? I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
To approve the consent agenda? I got a motion by Councilman Hammer, seconded by Deputy Mayor Jaffe. Any further discussion, gentlemen? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We're now on, Madam Smith. Would you like to read a caption? Is there anything?
No, the city manager withdrew the item.
Okay, copy that. We're now on public hearings number 1.
Ordinance
Madam Smith.
Ordinance 2025-61, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances, Title 9, General Regulations, Chapter 92, Noise, by including provisions related to construction work on weekends, providing for the repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in the City of Palm Bay Code of Ordinances, providing for a severability clause, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Madam Smith. I'm going to open up the public hearing and ask Mr. Morton to present this case, or Councilman Langevin.
Well, Mayor, with this being second reading, unless anybody has any questions, I'm good.
Okay. Mr. Morton?
I have nothing to add on second reading. Thank you.
Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing, asking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
No, that's Langevin's job.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-61 on final reading.
Second.
I got a motion by Councilman Langevin, seconded by Deputy Mayor Jaffe. Any further discussion, gentlemen? Councilman Langevin? Deputy Mayor? I'm calling the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We're now on item number 2, Madam Smith.
Ordinance 2026-01, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, vacating and abandoning a portion of the rear 20-foot public utility and drainage easement located within Lot 26, Block 890, Port Malabar Unit 22, according to the plat thereof, as recorded in Plat Book 16, page 14 of the Public Records of Brevard County, Florida, and legally described herein, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. I'm going to open up the public hearing. Mr. Morton?
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. This is a first reading of a vacation easement to vacate the southerly 10 feet, northerly 20 feet of a public utility and drainage easement. It is for the purposes of the construction of a carport and a garage in the backyard. There is no objection from the relevant agencies or staff for approving this vacation request. Those relevant agencies that had no objection were Florida Power and Light, Melbourne Tillman Canal, and Spectrum. And unless there's other questions, we have staff here to present, but that is all.
I don't see any questions. Is the applicant present? Come on up, sir.
Good evening. My name is Christopher Seward. I live at 969 Ray Road, and I'm looking to vacate a part of the easement for a metal building.
Thank you, sir. Stand fast. I'm going to ask the audience if they wanted to speak, and then I'll reserve some time for you to come back and answer any questions, all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing, asking for a motion.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Hammer, seconded by Councilman Johnson. Any additional comments, gentlemen? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. You got one more. All right, Chris? Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a great evening.
All right. Number 3, I'm going to open up the public hearing, and Mr. Morton.
Again, Honorable Mayor, City
I need
Council.
the mic, sir.
I believe it's on. Pull it a little closer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. I'm going to ask our Deputy City Manager, Jason DiLorenzo, to come up and explain this item to you. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Jason DiLorenzo, Deputy City
Nice
Manager.
suit.
You like this?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. This is 3 actions in one. And the goal of this is to achieve an additional commercial parcel that we can then start generating additional taxes on. You will remember from last year, January of 2025, City Council approved a land swap and development agreement with Diaz Treasures. That is at the future corner of St. John's Heritage Parkway and Malabar Road on the southwest side. And with that action that you completed last year, you received the right-of-way for the southern extension of the parkway in a land swap with Diaz. This development agreement and sale contract and easement is to sell 0.64 acres back to Diaz. That is on their western edge, our eastern edge, and to allow for an additional commercial parcel to be platted. The property was appraised. The appraisal was $136,000 per acre, and for this parcel, it's $102,400, 0.64 acres. We are incurring some design costs for the fire station to shift it over a little bit and change the access points. The developer is paying for those costs for a total of $107,000 as part of this sale contract. And the easement will provide us full access to the parcel and utility access as well.
Thank you. I don't see any questions from staff. Does that conclude?
Yes,
your
and
presentation?
the applicant is not here.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Is anyone in the audience? Come on up, sir.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street Southwest. Very seldom do I say what a good job the city's doing, but this is a case where I'm going to again. This is what I call a good job. It's the art of the deal. Everything that the city accomplished out of this, we sold the land, we got we got builders to do something that we would have to pay for, and it's going to give us the easement rights that we needed. I looked at this, once I talked to the individual about what it was, I look at this as a good example of a good art of the deal. So, good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing and asking for a motion.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Jaffe. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We're now on the consent item that was pulled. Councilman Langevin.
Yeah, Mayor. So first off, I want to remind the council and the public, we have a lot of baffle boxes around the city already. We've put a lot of interest and a lot of resources and a lot of treasure into our Turkey Creek and into water quality improvement. We've got a lot from the state. But we just had some contentious budget hearings and a millage debate, and we told the public that we couldn't lower their taxes because they need a fire truck. And this costs almost as much as a fire truck. So I don't understand what the point was of not lowering their taxes if we're just going to spend the money on more baffle boxes. I don't think baffle boxes are a bad thing, but we have a lot of them. This is $800,000 in the middle of a Doge process for one little section, and then we have to take over the maintenance of those baffle boxes and the costs associated with that. So I'm not opposed to in the future doing this, but I just really don't think that this year is the best use of that $800,000.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Councilman Johnson?
Well, my question, because I hear you, Councilman Langevin, have we seen any other more productive or more feasible or affordable ways of protecting Turkey Creek? I know I mentioned a few council meetings before that I constantly see all the grass and mowed grass and vegetation going into the Turkey Creek, which is not good for Turkey Creek. And, are there ways we can be more preventative as a city or working with the MRC?
Well, working with MRC, they would recommend this.
Okay.
That's the very first thing off the chute. Now, if you remember, and you've been on this council for several years, if you remember, part of the issue with the Indian River Lagoon is, they want to dredge. It's a multiple phase issue. And removing the muck before it actually gets in there is part of the equation. Now, we do have those vacuums that we've invested in. And I remember we had discussion extensively on what we can do wholeheartedly to protect the Indian River Lagoon. And the city of Palm Bay has been leading in that regard in the southern part. Then, moreover, I know that we've shared, there was a gentleman by the name of Ted Moorhead that was one of the very first I recall, from the 80s, one of the very first congressional staffers in our community that kind of led the charge of protecting that Indian River Lagoon. So when you talk about taking these things into stride, we applied for these grants. These are grants that are coming in, and this is our investment into the city. So those are the issues. I believe that it is an investment in $1 billion impact on the lagoon, because that is a huge impact within our community, and it affects the entire community, the entire county, and even south of us. And then we had this discussion, and I want to refresh your memory, and I'm going to call on you, Councilman Hammer, because I know you've been here for decades as well. The Indian River Lagoon had such a commercial aspect to it with clamming. And I remember in the 90s, it ceased. There was nothing to replenish that. So I think we're all doing our efforts with the entire county, and this is just an investment in that to get the muck before it ruins the Indian River Lagoon and our Turkey Creek. But Councilman Hammer.
Yeah, I would like to remind everybody, this is something that we discussed going after. This is something I've spent my time and my money to go to Tallahassee, to go to DC. Our congressman pushed for us to get this. This is something that we've been pushing for a while. And let me remind you, this area used to be a golf course, so we didn't have this runoff that we do now. This is all houses. This is all a development that used to be a golf course. So when we first discussed this, I said, why are we having this impact when the developers came in, there was going to be no impact? But I understand these nutrient boxes, even if we didn't have anything there, we don't have any baffle boxes at all. It's just pipes running straight into Melbourne Tillman. And I'm sorry, this is something we need. This is something we agreed to fight for. This is something I fought for. This is something people above us have fought for, and I'm going to be for it. Thanks.
Thank you. I'll need a motion. I'll be seconding this.
So moved.
I got a motion by Councilman Hammer, seconded by Mayor Medina. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay.
Nay.
4-1, Langevin opposed. We're now on item of procurement. Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. Mr. Barber, would you like to come up and explain this procurement award to council, please?
Good evening. So, standard bid process, ITB, multi-award, 5 vendors. It's for our Public Works Department, rental equipment, nothing outside the normal. So, if you have any questions.
Councilor, any questions? Councilman Hammer?
If you look on it, the budget says 0. So are we just approving 0?
So it's on an as-needed basis. So we only use it if we, I do believe Public Works has the funding for it, but there's nothing up front. We're not approving any funding. It's just to authorize the use of the contract.
Do we know what's been done in the past years, last year, the year before?
I believe we have those numbers. I don't know if we have them available, but we can get them. Yes, sir.
Okay. That's it. I just wanted to know what the 0 was there for. Is that something over a certain amount we're going to see again, project-based?
Yeah, typically with all our rental or equipment contracts, we don't know how much we're going to spend. They may need it 2 months from now. They may not need it. So that's why we typically don't put an amount there.
Okay, thank you.
This alleviates those P cards too, P card purchases, right? So, any speaker cards?
No, Mayor,
Deputy
no
Mayor?
cards.
Okay, I need a motion.
Motion to approve award of bid 06 ITB 26.
Got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe, seconded by Councilman Johnson. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. We're now on new business, item number 1, Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. This is consideration of an interlocal agreement with Brevard County for the Babcock Street reconstruction and resurfacing between Wyman Road and Willowbrook Street. This does not accelerate the transfer obligations of this portion of the road to the city. Those will still be governed by the 2020 ILA. In this interlocal, Brevard County will be the lead agency and will manage all construction-related activities. In terms of project costs, the estimated county portion is $745,904. The city portion is an estimated $861,130. Those costs are detailed between reconstruction and resurfacing. The city will deposit $900,000 within the county within 15 business days of recording of this ILA, and any shortfalls, if such arise, will be funded within 14 days. All unused funds will be reimbursed within 45 days after project completion, and each agency remains 100% responsible for any change orders that it directs. If there are additional questions, we do have staff here tonight to answer them.
Okay, council, I don't see any questions. Deputy Mayor, any speaker cards?
Bill Batten.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street Southwest. The one problem I have with this is the fact that the road used to be 100% county road. And why I bring this up is that Sunterra Development, which is in all county housing, it's not going to be anything benefiting the city of Palm Bay. Yet because of the annexing of land back and forth within the city, we are now legally tasked with providing them water and sewer into Sunterra. Centerra estimated between 2,700 and 3,500 homes that come out onto that road. That's the only way they can get in and out is onto that road. Well, what's due north of them? The city of Palm Bay. So all that traffic's going to be coming to the city of Palm Bay or going St. John's Heritage Parkway. Right? I don't like the county having the ability, I know we want interlocal agreements, but when they're going to be using our resources of water and sewer, and we don't get any benefit other than them paving a little bit of road and then automatically turning it back over to us, I'll put it this way, it's not art of a good deal, it's a bad deal. We've been shafted too many times, and it's, well, if you want us to pave any, you're going to have to do business with us as the county. It's a bad deal. I don't like it, especially on the fact that they're going to build a home, that many homes, that's going to impact on the quality of life of the city of Palm Bay. It's a bad deal. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
That concludes the cards.
Okay. Councilman Johnson.
Yes, Mayor, I just want to go down memory lane real quick because Mr. Batten brought me there, but from the beginning, this agreement was a bad deal. And you remember the county was pretty much twisting our arm and handcuffing us. We couldn't open up St. John Heritage Parkway, the exit, until we went into an interlocal agreement, which is what led us to the bad deal in the beginning. And that we took a loss right there. You know, yes, we were able to get the exit open. I'm grateful we did because a lot of that was political because there was a campaign going on at that time between the sitting mayor and he was going for commissioner against an incumbent. So it was very political at that time, but it's unfortunate. But here we are now, like we can't go backwards. So, but I do want to acknowledge what you mentioned, sir. So it was bad from the beginning, but we got the exit open now. People are able to get to and from easier, especially with Malabar being the way it is, but we're working with FDOT, so I feel this is as good as we can get, Mayor.
Well, thanks for bringing that history back up, Councilman Johnson. There was a little more to that too, right? So, and you were eloquent in stating that. So, and Councilman Hammer's been around for a minute. Deputy Mayor Jaffe.
Yeah, I just have a question. I don't know if Mr. Martin can answer it now or anybody on staff, but I'm noticing that the original 2020 ILA that's recorded with the county is not executed by both parties, meaning the county signed it, but nobody from Palm Bay signed it. So I'm trying to understand how a recorded agreement, all right, I just found another page where Capote's, it's separate. It's not signed on the same page. Okay. That's abnormal, but okay. Thank you.
Okay. There are no other speaker
No.
cards, Deputy Mayor. Any other comments, sir?
I guess I have a question for Mr. Morton. I mean, do you feel comfortable with this agreement?
I do at this point. I'm more uncomfortable as future goes on, as we try to look at the different agreements and the different, requests and requirements to adopt bifurcated sections of road. I think, roadways we know are one of the most expensive functions that we do. We've got a standing meeting with the county. We're really trying to work through and talk about our road network as a region and how we can maybe do a better job of doing that. I don't have any update on that, but for now, when this was done a few years back, it didn't receive the friction course base when the paving job was done. The road is in bad shape. It is a partnership. It's going to need to get done, and it doesn't make any sense to let the county do interstitial pieces and us to come back and try to infill. So from those standpoints, I do feel comfortable at this point moving it forward.
Does that conclude your comments? Okay, thank you. I need a motion, gentlemen.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Hammer, seconded by Councilman Johnson. Any further discussion, gentlemen? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed signify by saying nay. Passes unanimously. We're now on council reports. Councilman Langevin.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Hope you all had a Happy New Year and a good Merry Christmas. My council reports will be short. ICE is doing a phenomenal job around the country, and they do come and operate in our city. So if they give you a lawful order, you need to listen to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Hammer.
Yes, I have been getting calls from people. Has there been something change at Valkyria Airport where there's more planes flying without without being louder airplanes, because a lot of people in the Babcock by Vulcaria area are talking about planes flying really low and loud.
Have you contacted our District 3 Commissioner? Valkyria Airport is under their authority.
I have not. I was just seeing if we've heard anything about something new happening at Vulcaria Airport.
Okay. Councilman
I live
Johnson?
over in that area, and it's more traffic, I can say. So, but other than that, it's nothing that's gonna, I feel, me personally, doesn't inhibit my ability to live and enjoy life. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Next, there is a vacancy on P&Z. I did have the person that I appointed retire, so if anybody has P&Z experience, please reach out. I am looking for somebody. I wanted to say thank you to Pastor Delgado, but he already left, for a great Christmas extravaganza. It was amazing. Thank you, Mayor Medina. It was a fun time. I had a good time. A lot of people came out. What we put into it has definitely had its worth. A lot of smiling faces, a lot of smiling kids. Seeing something positive happen in Palm Bay, and the positivity from people was amazing. Also, I want to thank Donnie Felix for having another successful event. It's good to bring awareness to our city for things that, could have happened hundreds of years ago. I want to say it's 220-something years ago. His ancestors fought for independence in Haiti, and it was really cool to hear some of the stories people had to say, and it was nice to see something outside of my culture, outside of me, and be in attendance and be next to people within the community that might not have been the people that voted for me, but it was amazing to sit next to them and be part of their culture, of their community, of everything, and see that. It was pretty amazing, and I want to thank Donnie Felix for that, for having me, and that was an amazing time. Also, I do want to address racism. I am sick of it. I am beyond sick of it. I am tired of going to events to support people in my community and being heckled for going to it. I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm invited to something within my community and it's legal and it's something that's not it's my religion, I'm going to go. If you don't like it, don't vote for me. But I will not stand for racism in my community. Thank you.
Does that conclude your report, Councilman?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman Johnson? Thank you. Deputy Mayor?
Mayor, thank you so much. Happy New Year to everybody, and just wanted to touch on the Christmas extravaganza. I thought it was a spectacular event. Ended up having to leave early. My son had the flu, and it was a rough week during Christmas, taking care of him. But happy to be back here to take care of business for the city, and it was nice to have that break. I do want to talk about an employee of the city that has been getting a lot of attention ever since I've been on council. And, I just want to be crystal clear about something. I want to read something from the charter to make sure I'm not crossing any boundaries, and I did consult the city attorney on this, but it has to do with appointment and removals. No member of the council shall in any manner dictate the appointment or removal of any city administrative officer or employee whom the city manager or any of his subordinates are empowered to appoint. However, the council may express its views freely and freely discuss with the manager anything pertaining to the appointment and removal of such officer or employee. So over the last several months, the name Officer Rollins continues to come up in my inbox, in my emails, through public records requests, through conversations here at council, and all over the news in other states, locally, CBS. And I just, as a council member, I'm not, as a legislative body, and pointed out by a member of the audience earlier, you're a weak mayor, not physically weak, but a weak mayor government, and we rely on the city manager and the city staff to run the day-to-day, and we're just here to advise on legislative policy, pass ordinances and such. But there has been an incredible amount of pressure, I know on myself and I imagine others, to about a particular employee. And so I would just express my views freely that I just really hope that the city is really doing its due diligence and its hiring practices, fully vetting our employees, and if things do come to light that was potentially inaccurate on the original onboarding process, that we take the proper measures to mitigate that. I just met with a lot of the families that have interacted with this particular officer, and I just find a recurring theme from municipality to municipality, from city to city. And I don't have a formal opinion personally because I don't know enough. I don't manage the employee on a day-to-day basis. I'm just asking that we fully vet our policies, our procedures, and just ask that we do the best for our city. And just ask that we look further into Officer Sean Rollins. Thank you.
Well, I've got some folks wanting to weigh in, but I'm going to reserve my comments. But you nailed it when you said this is a city management form of government. I'm going to go to Councilman Johnson since you tagged in, or Councilman Langevin since you tagged in first. Councilman Langevin.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So I'm going to start off by telling a story. Well, first off, for those of you who don't know my background, I spent a lot of my adult life in the United States military, serving my country. I served 2 years overseas, and I have a father who is career law enforcement. I've been around the law enforcement community my entire life. The first thing I did, literally the very first thing I did after I was elected and sworn into office, was I reached out to Chief, because in my mind, our job has tiers. Public safety is the most important. I think most of us agree with that. So I wanted to go first to the police department, fire department, and see how things are going, learn about them. It's my first day on the job. I went out. It happened to be our SWAT tryouts. I went out, and Chief pulled the whole SWAT team around. Chief was there. I was there. And I looked those gentlemen in the eyes. Total studs, by the way, absolute warriors. And I looked them in the eyes, and I said, this city council is not going to be like city councils in some of these liberal cities that throw our police officers under the bus. Some of these city councils that use our police officers for political pawns. Quite frankly, that's disgusting. And I literally looked them in the eyes and I said, we are not going to do that here in Palm Bay. In Palm Bay, this council is going to support you. You can feel comfortable to do your job. I expect you to do your job and be aggressive as warfighters in our community, protecting those of us from evil every single day. And I said, we are not going to tolerate that in the city of Palm Bay. We do not negotiate with terrorists. We do not negotiate with Marxists. The reason that the defund police movement, and that's what part of this is right now, and the pressure in this community right now, is not because they're mad at a few bad apples. They're mad because our police officers wake up every single day and they enforce American law and order in the United States Constitution. They enforce the antithesis of what these Marxists and terrorists believe in. And that is why they are trying to pressure us right now to go after one of our police officers who has done nothing but his job every single day. Quite frankly, I think, and what's disgusting about this, quite frankly, is that this is a police officer doing his job. His mental state right now is not good, and you know that. You're the first one to call people out in council reports, Deputy Mayor, when they say something that, oh, it could have been done in a city manager meeting. So I'm going to call you out now. You talk to the city manager. You know what's going on. You know what his mental state is right now. You know that you're undermining the leadership of this city, the chief, and the city manager with your comment right now. You know that it's going to hurt the morale of 300 police officers that keep you safe every single night. I will not hold back. Your comment is quite frankly disgusting, and I know why you made it, which makes it that much more disgusting and disgraceful. You're in an election cycle right now, and you want this heat off you, and you want to seem like you're doing something.
Mayor, point of order.
Okay, no, he's speaking, sir.
But we're
It's
talking about
disgusting. You know what? No, I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk. I'm going to stand by our police department because I didn't call a point of order 2 months ago. I sat here and let you guys say what you needed to say about me, and I'm okay with that. But you will not talk about our police department like this. This is not a matter of something going wrong. We have a city manager form of government. You have talked to the city manager and the police chief outside of these chambers, and I'm not going to sit here and allow our entire police department to have their morale stripped from them, our chief to feel like he's not a leader, because, and a police officer whose mental state is on the edge right now because they think their council does not support them. This council supports them, and I am not happy with your comments tonight. I think they're disgraceful. I think you lack integrity, and I think you're a coward.
Does that conclude your comment, sir?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson. I'll let you respond. No, sir, point of order. Order. Okay. Sir, order. Thank you. Good night. Councilman Johnson.
All right, Mayor. So first off, this is not how it should go down at all. Second off, I'll just tell a brief story. I've been in support of the city and the police department from day one, and I've had run-ins with our own officers, and disagreements with our own officers. And when I did, I didn't come up over here on the dais. I didn't speak about it publicly. What I did was I took it to that city manager. That city manager scheduled a meeting with me and that officer, and then the officer went their way, and the city moved forward with in a different direction. That's the way we go about it. When we get up here, ego and pride tends to get in the way, and that's the reason why I call point of order, because it became personal in regards to talking about the campaigns. We're not up here to talk about campaigns and anything of that nature. We're up here to just discuss the city business. But to that point, any one of the council members, if you haven't completed, I'll be the first one to call myself out. I didn't complete my review with Mr. Morton. That's the time to share your concerns if you have a concern. Other than that, do not make this a spectacle. Do not make this theatrics, because people are purposely watching, wanting a show, and we're looking like a mockery. Like that whole thing just there looked like a mockery. Councilman Langevin, I understand, with what happened in the past, but nobody called you out of your name, sir. Deputy Mayor didn't call you out your name. I haven't called you out your name. Mayor hasn't called you out your name. So that's where I really was like, let's hone it back. Let's not get emotional. Let's not get personal. And let's keep it to what it's about. If it's about this department, it's about the department. Take it up with the city manager. Don't make it a show or spectacle here, and leave it at that. So that's all I got, Mayor.
Thank you. Do you want to respond, or because I've got my...
Yeah, the only response I'm going to add is I never said I didn't support this police department. I do support the police department. My brother's a first responder. Some of the comments that he made, I'm concerned that the Sunshine Law has been violated based on some of the things he's indicated about conversations that I may or may not have had with the city manager that were supposed to be confidential. So I'm just going to have to pray and decide what I'm going to do next with the statement that Councilman Langevin made.
Councilman Hammer.
I'd like to say I support our police department fully. I support our city manager and our police chief fully. When I read that, it says if I have an issue with an employee, I speak to the city manager. It doesn't say that I speak out here. It says I speak to the manager, and that's what I do, and that's what I have done. What I have, my conversations with the city manager is my conversation with the city manager, and I trust in him. I trust in our chief. I trust in our deputy chief to fulfill what I have to say, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'll wrap this up, but I think it warrants our city manager to respond. But in the meantime, I want to talk a little bit about supporting our law enforcement. The bottom line is, and I've gone out on ride-alongs, and there's no shame in me saying this. I've seen them deal in the wee hours of the morning, going in and dealing with individuals that literally it is evil. What they're facing, I'm not calling the person evil, I'm calling what's behind them evil. There's an evil that's out there at the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning time frame. And the way I see it, as a matter of fact, is when you deal with evil, you have to be assertive and attuned at every given point. As a matter of fact, I've been walking around. There was an incident that occurred in our streets where an individual killed the priest and killed the priest's sister. Then he goes on and he engages and attempts to kill our law enforcement officials. 2 officers get shot as they witnessed the individual kill his own father. Think about that. So we've got 2 law enforcement officials that get shot. And in the interim, the other officers are trying to pursue and engage in shooting. It was Officer Rollins that eliminated the threat of the individual shooting back at him. It takes a special officer to pursue someone when you're getting shot at. To me, that's a thin blue line that's protecting us, because that individual was not going to stop there. He had an arsenal with him to do additional damage, and let the record reflect that this individual did an outstanding job in protecting my family and the citizens of Palm Bay. I agree that this is a city management form of government. And I believe our chief of police has cleared, and there's a review process that has cleared and paved the way, whether it's FDLE, whether it's internal, but I trust our chief of police. Our chief of police responds back to our city manager. And so at this point, for this to be an issue about an individual that's protecting our streets, that's putting it on the line for each and every one of us, we shouldn't even be discussing this. This is a young man with a family, and he's moving forward in protecting the lives of our citizens. And so, Mr. Morton, you are the city manager. I'd like for you to discuss about the actual, what remedies have we done, what review process is, because I know that there must have been, and I know that there were.
So I mean, I can comment high level. I also have documents, but, Officer Rollins went through a extensive background process, a polygraph process. His agencies were just, our interviewers meet with the different agencies in terms of discussions and look into the background. I've yet, again, to see evidence. I know we keep saying he lied in a former application, and I'm assuming we're attempting to relate that to the Columbia, South Carolina employment. But then I have a letter from the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. Give me a moment to read it. Letter is dated November 20th, 2019, directed to Officer Sean Rollins. This was put in part of the background of the investigation in his file. Dear Officer Sean Rollins, this letter is to inform you that SLED, also known as South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, investigative file 3210094, has been reviewed by the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office under the direction of Solicitor Byron Gibson, and has found no evidence of any criminal wrongdoing. Their finding deemed that your actions during this matter were legally justified based on the circumstances you were confronted with on that day. The City of Columbia Internal Investigation IC 2019-029 also revealed that you have not committed any policy violations during this incident. The allegation of excessive or unnecessary use of force is unfounded. I could go on. Reviewing his documents, and of course with that we have his letter of resignation, which was accepted by that jurisdiction. bring you his documents with Teller, Colorado. You know, similar thing. I look at his performance evaluations, exceptional. So they've done the due diligence. I took the concerns here, so that I keep hearing. I've dug into it. The claim is correct. He was on probation. He is on probation. Let me do my due diligence, trust but verify. Again, I haven't seen additional evidence. We have very competent background investigators, very competent background check processes. I don't know what else I can or should comment on at this moment. But again, I'm trusting our police department. I'm trusting the integrity of our background investigators. I'm trusting an integrity of the hiring system that has placed Officer Rollins in the city of Palm Bay.
Okay. All right, Mr. Morton, now we're on reports. Well, I'm still on my report. I guess I used my time for reports, but I was just going to say, you know, the family Christmas extravaganza was outstanding, but I was taken aback because we should all be celebrating those that protect us. Anyway, that concludes my reports. Mr. Morton, your reports?
I have one report. I'm going to read a statement I prepared tonight. And Jonathan, this issue and what is happening, I think, is out of hand, and I think it's destroying our community. I think it's detrimental. In 1710, Jonathan Swift famously said, "Falsehood flies quick, and the truth comes limping along long after, usually too late." I'm not a lawyer, but I'm aware that the only defense to a potential defamation claim is the truth, and tonight I'm going to speak some truth. What an absolute privilege it's been to be here for 10 months. 10 months ago, I stood right there, and I expressed my hopes, my enthusiasm, my commitment to be the Palm Bay City Manager. I was asked some hard questions, and I promised to deliver transparency, which you heard tonight and you've heard repeatedly I've done and I'm doing. And I'm going to quote myself, "I will not be bullied by anyone, and that my integrity is worth more than my job." I believe that even more deeply now than when I said it 10 months ago. The gravity of this role is not lost on me. It's not about me. It's never going to be about me. It's about this community and the work that this community expects me to do. And when they don't expect me to do it any longer, as someone said tonight, they vote me out. You've often heard me say and say to our incredible staff many times that leadership level 99 at a remedial level is disappointing your followers at a rate they can absorb. That's how we balance a lot of our days. On the other end of that continuum is leadership level 500, essentially being willing to have the personal courage to step off the page of the job description, to be willing to put yourself in front of others, to be a bulwark for them, to walk squarely outside of the arena of personal safety, and to disregard any notion of trying to insulate, shield, or protect oneself, and to do that, most importantly, for the right reasons and the right people. I know I'm putting myself in that line tonight. I'm okay with that. And I'm not saying this or doing this to impress anyone. If you guys are looking to be impressed by someone, be impressed with Chief Mario Agello, who has demonstrated this type of consistent leadership under withering attack for almost 2 years. I want to apologize to the dedicated men and women in the Palm Bay Police Department. We have asked you time and again to be the wall between us and evil, the horror and the terrible in this world, so we can go about our lives, and you have answered that call. At one time, Deputy Chief Lance Fisher answered that call. Despite weathering a withering attack from a former deputy chief, they have continued to operate with pride, professionalism, commitment, integrity, and have been held accountable when they've erred. And there have been errors, just like in every organization and in every department across this state and across this country. The records clearly reflect that. This is not a minimization. I reiterate that we believe in the highest ethical standards, and those who do not agree are disciplined, or if severe enough, they're terminated. It's not random, it's thoughtful, it's deliberate, it's intentional, it's for the greater good. I was approached by Mr. Fisher even before I was formally employed by contract to the city of Palm Bay. He was so eager to tell me his story that he called and emailed me over and over. My request, which is memorialized in writing, was to please wait until I officially was in office to respect the integrity of the public process, to respect the public record, and not to use my personal email that he got off my resume moving forward. Several people did that, in fairness. The attempts to contact me, however, didn't stop. Change is not easy. Change is not in the minutia. We've brought many changes together. We're going to bring many more. But change has to accomplish the greater good. Otherwise, what are we doing? Change is not driven by the loudest voice, shouldn't be driven by the squeakiest wheel. There must be a careful, deliberate consideration of the many questions, chief among them, and borrowing from the famous Pareto efficiency criterion, a well-established value-neutral tool. Are more people better off, or are more people worse if we make a change? Or in the case of the police department, is the public more safe, or are they less safe as a whole as a result of change, or as a whole of the actions we take? We are emphatically more safe today. Murder, non-negligent manslaughter is down 13.33%. Rapes are down 28.33%. Robberies are down 36.58%. Aggravated assaults are down 22.88%. Burglaries are down 15.41%. Thefts down 5.32%. Motor vehicle thefts down 15.08%, and more. When Mr. Fisher and I finally met, I took the information he provided. I worked through it. I conducted due diligence, as did two past city managers, and I disclosed in a previous public meeting and on the record, it kept coming up empty. And through it all, the police department achieved certifications, received accolades, and then completed the arduous and prestigious accreditation process. I've had multiple conversations with police department employees with the full knowledge and blessing of the chief and deputy chief, who are and remained confident that the record would reflect, and the conversations I chose to have would tell the full story, because there was nothing to hide and nothing being hidden. I mentioned that change should not come from the loudest voice nor the squeakiest wheel. More so, unequivocally so, change must never, I repeat, never be driven by those who threaten, extort, or manipulate for their own gain. This is the epitome of corruption, and it is the heart of rot, and the city has been there before. This week that I learned the same former deputy chief, who in my opinion used the tragic death of our police chief's grandson, is now, and recent public records requests seem to verify, an attempt to disparage our current deputy chief, to try to damage him and his young family by spreading vicious rumors that are both vile and disgusting, trying to cast aspersions of affairs. The deeper I've dug, the more people I talk to, it keeps coming back to one person, the same former deputy chief who told me to my face, and several others, in fact, at least two others have come forward with this same exact message. This will all go away, the YouTube channel will shut down, if a certain one or two, now about 5 or 6 police employees are terminated, and a payment of $450,000 was made in the guise of a settlement they believed they were owed. That's it. And those two people who relayed that message were here in this room tonight. I ask myself, if this is not corruption, what is? So as I attempt to move this city forward, we keep getting pulled back into the past, and for all the wrong reasons, as we just saw unfold 20 minutes ago. You shouldn't be even tearing this council apart, let alone the community. You guys work too hard and have too much integrity to move this city forward. So I'm taking counsel as to what to do next. I'm contemplating filing a criminal complaint for the attempted extortion of a public official, my opinion, what is the attempted extortion of a public official, and have those two individuals subpoenaed to corroborate this true account. Would it serve the greater good, or would it just serve to continually destroy, distract, and disparage our city? Something's changed in our community. Several, more than a few, but less than 10, several current and former police officers have asked me to place them on the public record. They'd like to be deposed. They would like to come forward and testify about the actions, abuses they claim to have suffered under a former deputy chief. At this point, that serves no purpose. No longer an employee, not much to do. They are free to pursue whatever course of action. If they think a crime was committed, that was not expressed to me. Again, how does that contribute to the greater good? Opening that door, I don't believe does. Mr. Fisher worked here for 20 years. I also estimate the ongoing PRRs have cost the community between $75,000 and $100,000 in lost productivity, lost morale, intense fear. I want to ask, even though it's legally absolutely none of my business, so it's a rhetorical question, truly, for what purpose? And while I actively take legal counsel, which I have begun this week, I am wanting to take the next course of action that ultimately serves not me, not you, the residents of the city of Palm Bay, the greater good, the majority of the residents in Palm Bay who expect us to get up every day and fix things and do our job. And I don't want to continue to be distracted from that important, serious, and timely work. Yes, we should be criticized. We should be challenged. You should be looking into things. Citizens should absolutely encourage it. I welcome it. I have met with dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of people, not just to hear the good, but to hear the bad. And I've taken every conversation seriously. But it remains my goal to move this city forward in partnership with the community, again, to achieve the greater good and improve the quality of life for this community. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. We're now
Point of order.
on,
Sir, my name was mentioned.
Sir, we're now on legal reports.
Nothing further, Mayor.
Okay, this meeting's adjourned.
I sat here quietly today and I didn't say a single word. Haven't disrupted this, Mr.